Vlog 14, Craft. So, it is another night editing and doing the vlog on the iPad, and I decided to embrace it tonight. No more, I'm just not doing no excuses, I'm embracing it. So, I did that song totally on GarageBand again on the iPad, and I'm editing this all on iMovie to get it done. So, I want to talk about craft a little bit tonight, and this came up in a conversation on one of the forums that I saw, but I got inspired because I think it's a really cool topic. There is a common sentiment that happens amongst musicians, myself included sometimes, that tends to think, like you put all this time and effort into learning instruments and, perfecting things and learning music theory and all this stuff, and then you kind of get to this place where like pop or, a country or rap or whatever it is, the genre du jour that represents all that is wrong with modern music comes up, and musicians will, kind of say like, that's the problem with modern music. It's so simple, blah, blah. I disagree with that totally. Like, I think there is a lot of craft that goes into, pop and hip hop and country and stuff like that, that's kind of underappreciated. And the craft may not necessarily be in, some wonderfully orchestrated, piece, that's really complex with a bunch of crazy chords and really, intellectual harmony and stuff like that. But in the production elements, there's a ton of craft that you can learn from: mixing, mastering, engineering, things like that. Also, and something I kind of thought about tonight, there's a huge difference between writing a boring song and a simple song. And I think there's a lot of people who confuse the two because they haven't taken the time to sort of realize, like, just because something doesn't appeal to me, just because I may, like for me, I'm a prime case of this, right? A lot of pop music doesn't appeal to me because I can kind of instantly hear and I know exactly what's going on, especially in the chord progression and melody. It's just not very challenging. And I like to study jazz and things like that, and so I like things that are a little more complex. But I've been in this process of kind of overcoming that as a barrier, right? That's not the only way that music can be valid. You don't have to just have some awesome, hip harmony that's really jazzy in order for it to be cool. And so I realized what I was doing was that I was asking for a pop chord progression to be something it was never intended to be. And I missed kind of the little secret that was happening behind the scenes. To me, there's a lot of discipline and craft in being able to strip down a song to a couple of key elements while keeping it incredibly appealing to a wide variety of people. Again, this doesn't make pop music my favorite thing in the world, but I am really starting to find like a vision and gateway into this idea that that there's a little more craft behind the scenes when it comes to crafting these songs that really is appealing and nice. And when you take the time to sit with the songs and stop getting hung up, I'm speaking to myself here, stop getting hung up on, this is just a basic, 6-4-1-5 chord progression, easy peasy, and listen to what's actually happening. Listen to, what they did in the production, or listen to what elements they restrained themselves from using. Like, what did they get away with just only using, like a kick and, maybe a bass synth and then just some little melodic element and then voice, and that's it. And it still has a lot of power to it. So I want to encourage you, especially my musician friends, if you ever find yourself kind of falling into that trap, always be willing to learn from any genre of music and try to expand your horizons. Now, I'm going to go ahead and claim my own hypocrisy on this. I freaking hate country music. I hate it. And I've tried to get into it, and I've actually learned like some of the older, like 70s, Waylon Jennings, stuff like that. I've played it before in a gig, and there's some incredibly good country players out there. I'm not saying that either. Like, I know full well there's a bunch of incredible players in the country scene. Have mad respect for their skills. And if I ever see them live, it's something that I would sit and watch just to watch their skill at that. So it comes down to my own prejudice. To me, country, and this distinctly no longer applies to hip hop. I used to say country and hip hop, and I've actually found some gateways into hip hop that I think are really cool, and I'm empathizing with that point of view more. And there's a lot of really good. It's a diverse genre with a lot of stuff happening, especially recently, and so I'm finding my way into that. And so for me, country, I'll go ahead and that's my hypocrisy, right? I don't do that with country music. I can't get past the cultural associations in my head for country. But on any other genre of music, I've begun finding my way to at least being able to sit with it for a little bit and hear what they're trying to say. Hear something cool about it. And maybe that's it. Even with a country song, if somebody put it on, if they set me down and they're into it and they put it on, I'd listen. That's fine. I'd listen and I'd hear it. But I have never, of my own accord, gone and sought out a country song. But I'm trying to be. I'm kind of taking pride these days, not in what I don't listen to, but in what I am willing to listen to. When I was a teenager, I took a lot of pride in I only listen to these genres and these bands and this. It was exclusive, and now I kind of take pride in being willing to listen to all sorts of stuff, totally off the beaten path. I want to hear things that surprise me or that I don't normally listen to because it's healthy and it's good. So, yeah, so do that. Expand. If you're ever in a rut, jump out of your comfort zone, listen to something new. See you tomorrow.